One thing you wish you knew or did in second year.
Drop out.
Can we put that in? Avery is an ECE and they don't have an equivalent course, and he's seething and coping behind the camera right now because he has to pay extra if he wants to take this course.
A lot of the other people I've talked to who didn't take Math 220 had a pretty fun time.
Yeah, but we took Math 220, so
we took Math 220, so we did not have a good time.
What is up, people of the internet? My name is Avery and I've just finished my second year of electrical engineering at UBC. But throughout my second year, I always wondered what second year was like for all the other engineering programs at UBC. So I reached out to a bunch of people, and in this video we'll be covering almost everything you need to know before heading into second year engineering physics. Timestamps will be in the description below if you want to reference certain parts of this video again in the future. And without further ado, let's dive into second year engineering physics at UBC.
Hello, my name is Sam. I am Avery Cheng's #1 fan, and I am currently, where's my phone? I am currently 3 days away from finishing my second year of engineering physics.
Hello, I'm Harry and I'm finishing my last week of robot summer for my second year of engineering physics.
I mean, like, Avery's getting a video out of this, but for me, this is a fan meetup, so you know, I'm just here chilling. I'm not gonna lie, I chose ENPH for like a really simple reason. It's just two things really, is physics and robotics. I saw physics, I saw robotics, I was like, where do I sign up? Yeah, no, this program is like, it just has like the perfect blend of theoretical and applied science that I was looking for. Like you learn a bit of the theory, you learn a bit of the applications, you learn a bit of everything. And I really wanted to explore like really interdisciplinary engineering while also learning like the fundamental theories behind like how everything works. So you learn the physics, you learn the math, but like all the theory, but you also learn like the engineering, so you really get a bit of everything.
I chose engineering physics because I had no idea what else to do. Simply because engineering physics had basically everything I wanted to do, which was blend physics, mechanical, electrical, and software. When I was doing my first year, I couldn't figure out a favorite among those, so I decided just to do them all.
So engineering physics is really an interdisciplinary program, combines a lot of different fields of STEM. You have mechanical engineering, computer engineering, electrical engineering, software engineering, with a healthy dose of theory like math and physics. Really what ENPH is that it allows you to tackle new problems from the perspective of basic physics. It lives in that transition period where scientists make a new discovery in research, and then that transitions to like applications in the engineering field. And engineering physics really lives in that transition between basic science and real engineering applications. And that really like makes ENPH students suited for like bleeding edge, like high tech research, like research in new materials, new computing systems, computer architecture. This program is a joint program under the Faculty of Applied Science and the Department of Physics and Astronomy, so PHYS. So we are a kind of like a mishmash program of two different departments coming together. The program is directed by Dr. Andre Marziali, everyone just calls him Andre. The program takes in 60 people per year with about 180 to 200 applicants, which roughly changes per year. Just do note that this program is the 5 years instead of the normal 4 years, with about a third of students extended to 6 or more years. So highlights of engineering physics, I'm just gonna cover a couple highlights because this program has a lot of like really cool stuff, so I just want to let you know what you guys are getting into. And the first one is mentorship, which is actually really good. So for second year, every second year is organized into groups, and you get assigned a third and upper year mentor, and you're literally just given, I don't know how much the budget is, but you're literally just given a budget with your group to just go out and have fun. Like you're just given money to go out and like eat dinner, go rock climbing, do archery. We also have ENPH 353, which is a crash course, I think, computer vision, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So you learn a lot of really cool software stuff too. There's also capstone projects, and I think your 4th and 5th year, if I remember correctly. Basically, it's a supervised project where you and a team, or you by yourself if you want, can kind of just propose your own engineering idea and bring it like from scratch to fruition. There's also technical electives. Because ENPH is such a interdisciplinary program, right now there are 15 credits, which is around 5 courses, just set aside for you to completely just choose your own courses, whatever you want to do. It's like protected time saying like, we are going to give you this time specifically to choose whatever you want to do. Anything that's kind of like STEM related or anything that you can justify as helping you become a better engineer, you can take as a course. And it's just really nice to have that flexibility, anything you want to do. We also have a great support system here. So because the program is so small, it only takes in 60 people per year, you really do get the support you need. Like Andre, the program director, is just always available, always really understanding and always there to help you. And he's very flexible. So like since he's such a small program, he can really handle your problems one-on-one on a case-by-case basis. So you really do feel that there's a lot of support staff. There's also Eileen, the logistics, and also all the people at the project lab to help you out with any technical issues. Course materials, if they're too expensive, they can help you with that. Course registration, if you come into issues with that, they can help you out. There's accommodations. If the course load is too hard, they'll definitely let you drop courses and help you rearrange your schedule to make sure you graduate when you want to graduate. The team is here to try their best to help you succeed. We also have engineering physics also has a project lab because like I said, there's so few students, and also we have a pretty good long list of corporate sponsors. We actually have an engineering physics project lab, which is literally just a lab in Hennings on the first floor. It's just a lab directly just for ENPH students, just for us to mess around with whatever weird inventions we're working on. It's very well stocked. It's got a whole bunch of stuff, and it's literally just there for you to mess around with whatever you want to mess around with. And what I think is really special about that specifically is that really sets ENPH apart is that we actually have full-time technicians who just always are at the project lab just there to assist students, just there to help you guys out. So we have Meaty, Greg, Bernard, and Dylan are all always available to students as the project lab technicians and engineers. Because we're also under the physics department, we also do get access to all of that stuff. And we have access to the robotics lab during robot summer. There's also the senior lab if you're a higher upper year. There's the water jet facilities if you're certified. The machine shop with all the mill machines, the lathes. Basically, there's a whole bunch of different facilities that are available to us, and you really get the support you need and the resources you need to make whatever you want. So tips for getting into ENPH. Right out the gate, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It is the hardest engineering program to get into in second year. How the system works is that you need an 80% average, greater than 80% average in your math and physics courses in the first term. If you don't get that, you can send an email and request, say I promise I'll have an academic comeback, please. But generally, you need an 80% plus average in your first term to get an invitation to apply. But generally, you need a GPA just above 80, but near the 87, 85 mark. That's generally where you want to be aiming at. Every student is assigned a score for their admissions. So 1/3 of that score is your overall GPA, all your courses from first year. Another third of that score is specifically your math and physics courses. So your math and physics courses do get weighed twice. So they are very, very valuable. So make sure you focus on your math and physics courses if you want to get in. The last third of your admission score is your interview score. Every year, the program takes 60 people. The top 40 people who are in the admission process, they get sent an email saying, yes, you will get into ENPH. I think positions like 40 to around 70 get like a maybe email, but the rest are denied admission. You'll get an estimate of your chances getting into ENPH before the actual application deadline is due. If you get like a high probability of getting in, you can like put that as your first choice, and maybe if you get a maybe, you can reconsider. One quick thing, ENPH does not look at your written statements for your applications into second year specializations. Don't worry about those, it's all in the video. Yeah, so the first round of interviews is a video interview where you record a video of yourself. It's due sometime around March. So the actual questions for this interview are public on the ENPH website, so you can just look them up. But I will say it's designed to be like a 5-minute video. It's very rough, very informal, so you don't really have to prepare or dress up or anything. I will say some of the questions are optional. So really play to your strengths and answer what question do you think will make you look best. Just for some tips for the video interview. Like I said, it's informal, so don't bother dressing up and trying too hard. Just be casual. The point of the video is just to get it as a quick assessment on who you are as a person, as an engineer. Not only do they want to see that you're smart, they want to see that you're an emotionally mature person who's not a psychopath. Try not to be stiff, just be yourself, which I know is a really cliche tip, but really just genuinely be yourself. It's not all just about intelligence and having the highest grades and highest numbers. It doesn't really matter how high your grades are if you really just come off as an arrogant or if you come off as dismissive or pretentious. So really just dial in and make sure you come off as grounded and a real, just a chill guy. There's a second round of interviews that takes place around end of April, start of May. All of these dates will be published on the ENPH website, so don't worry about it. You get all the information you need. One thing I want to nail here is that there's no singular path into this program. The interview is really where that wiggle room is, that basically where you want to prove yourself as more than just a person with high grades. So this is where you really want to play to your strengths, but at the same time, be honest and be reflective. If you just try and say what you think they want you to say, you're probably not going to get in. You really want to be honest, because this program really wants people with strong motivations and clear visions. Like I said, you may be accepted in this program purely just because you have super high grades. Obviously, Since this program has the highest admission average out of any engineering program, there's a lot of people who are just in here because they have really high grades. But there are other ways to get in. You could get in because you're a wizard at technical projects. Maybe you just have a lot of drive and motivation and that really comes off. Maybe you're emotionally mature and can handle yourself in a team. Maybe you're just a great leader. There's a lot of different ways to get into this program, and don't feel pigeonholed that the only way to get in is to have a 95 average, because that's not true. There's a lot of different ways you can differentiate yourself and really a lot of ways you can score a spot in this program. Yeah, so I would say to keep your interests and motivations like the first priority as you come along. These questions in the interview, they're not like technical questions. Or there are technical questions, but that's not like the main bread and butter, I feel. The main bread and butter of this interview is really just to get to know you. And that involves like kind of probing your personality and your views on the world and really who you are as a person. So go into this interview with an open mind, because the questions, they're designed to catch you off guard. What you think will happen in the interview probably won't happen. So just be prepared for anything in the interview and be prepared to answer honest and truthfully, because that's what they're looking for. The biggest thing is the ENPH 259 lab kit, which is $540. Right out the gate, I know that's very expensive, but A, there is financial support available. If you talk to the program director, we'll help you out. The lab kit is also returnable at the end of the course for like a refund, like it's like a deposit, so you can return your equipment, assuming you don't break it. Like I did, which may be ineligible for the refund. Anyway, so it contains all your essential equipments for ENPH 259, and most people find that's really useful for like other stuff, like especially for ENPH 253 while making your robot, having all those tools is really useful. The big headline offering is the Analog Discovery 2 USB oscilloscope / function generator / logic analyzer. It also comes with an 82 breakout PCB, digital multimeter, DMM, wire strippers and cutters and wire pliers, ground strap. And there's also an 82 power supplies. Those are like the most major essential components of your ENPH lab kit. So as far as timetable hacks in ENPH, there's really only 2 schedules you can choose from, and the only real difference between them is the lab section for 259. Especially in second year, the schedules for this program are designed to keep you in a cohort with all your other ENPH students, so you're all stuck together. So really, there's not much flexibility in second year. There are some stuff you can move around. Yeah, so even though the SSC is dead and Workday is here, our new Lord and Savior Workday, and STTs are dead along with the SSC. There are still like the two timetable thing still is a thing. Like there are published timetables on the ENPH website saying, hey, like we recommend you to take these courses. Of course you can ignore that and figure everything out on your own, but that won't guarantee that you're in your cohort, and that's generally just not recommended. Like nobody really does that. The one real thing you can do to switch around your schedule is to not take Math 217, because Math 217 is one of the hardest courses in second year. You can take Math 253 in the summer leading up to ENPH, and then Math 317 in the winter term, and that does tend to lessen your course load. Also, Math 257, you usually take it in the summer, but if you don't get a job for co-op, you can take it in the winter term second semester. So as far as professors go, because ENPH has such like a rigid schedule for STTs, or not STTs anymore, but because like you don't really get that much of a choice in your professors, but I'll just point out like a couple highlights. Andre Marziale, program director, is really good. Jim Bryan, Math 217. Zinovi Reichstein, Math 305, Applied Complex Analysis. Shariar for Elect 204. Basically, ENPH has a lot of really good professors. The only thing I'll dive into deep with professors as far as that goes is Math 220, because that is an elective that you do get to choose your own section for. Do not, at any cost, do not go into Pablo Schmerkin's section. He is so bad. Oh my God. If you take Math 220, try and get into Andrew Recknitzer, he's really good. He's the guy who makes the lesson videos for the course, and he's a really good professor. As far as professors go, there's not much choice you have, but what you get is pretty good. As far as workload goes, I know like most people in other programs have said it's easier. For ENPH, no, that's not true. I say the workload in second year is significantly harder than first year. And there was a couple times where I definitely got pushed a little bit to my limits as far as like physically and emotionally goes. I will say though, it is less stressful than first year because there's no longer like the competition to prove yourself. Like you're in this program, you don't have to like prove yourself. You're not trying to like compete against other people. You're not trying to like get that highest GPA possible. You just kind of like sail along at your own pace. So it is more stressful in some ways, but also less stressful in some ways. Because that sense of competition is gone, everybody in this program tends to be just really chill, really humble. So like even nobody's really pretentious, I would say. Like even like the really smart people, they're all like really nice to talk to, and you can just get along with everybody. So that's really nice. Okay, so Harry wants to say something, but he's not mic'd up, so he's gonna say it. I'm gonna stand here awkwardly. Go.
All right, so basically, the workload isn't that bad if you don't take Math 220 in first semester.
Oh my God.
A lot of the other people I've talked to who didn't take Math 220 had a pretty fun time.
Yeah, but we took Math 220, so
Yeah, but we took Math 220, so we did not have a good time.
First semester was 21 credits, and for me, I had a 2-hour commute, which was really rough, especially with Math 220. Like, on a couple of the really bad weeks, I found myself sleeping 4 hours a day, which don't recommend. You start seeing hallucinations, which is not great. Like I said, with Math 220, with the homeworks due at Friday night, I was always panicking and scrambling. The number of times I've submitted an assignment at 11:58 p.m., oof. First semester, yeah, I definitely did that a lot. Andre did open the program orientation saying two things that really did stick out to me. The first thing was that this is the hardest program at UBC. The second thing was that commuting is highly inadvisable. As far as the first point goes, there is some argument. A lot of people say ELEC is harder, or CPEN is harder, or whatever. But yes, ENPH is hard. That is a fact. As far as commuting being inadvisable, yes. I did a 1-hour commute both ways, so 2 hours a day. Very bad, do not recommend. Some people can get away with it, but I highly recommend if you can, trying to get housing near campus. Second semester was also pretty hard, mostly because I shot myself in the foot. Aside from some other non-academic reasons, I did take the physics student machine shop course and the physics PCB course at the same time, which did result in some days where I had to have 12 hours of classes and labs a day, which was not advisable. I did manage to get some more sleep for the second semester, but 12 hours of labs and stuff a day is really hard, so you know. Also during the second semester, I did take some third-year courses, which is obviously harder than second-year courses. Finally, robot summer. Yes, it is famous and kind of legendary for its difficulty, and that's for good reason. First 6 weeks of academic, I think I have 5 academic courses in the first 6 weeks, and then straight into 6 weeks of 11 hours a day of lab. Yes, that is hard. Yes, that will push you. This really does test your ability to regulate your own emotions and not blow up at your teammates as you make your robot. It tests your ability to perform under pressure and adapt with stress. A lot of people do consider this robot summer kind of like an initiation ritual for engineering physics. I think that's like a bit like overselling it. Like everybody gets through. I will say like no matter how hard it is, like most people, like 90%, 99% of people get through robot summer. So it is hard in the moment. It can feel overwhelming sometimes, but everybody gets through and this program does have great supports. So it is hard, yes, but don't worry. So as far as electives go in second year, I took Math 220 and that really pushed me to my limits, as I'm sure you guys have already heard. Since technical electives in ENPH really open up in third year, which are like dedicated elective slots for technical courses. So for most people in second year, they only take this time to do their sustainability credit or their arts elective credit or something else. Or Math 220. Math 220 is like a really popular elective in second year because it's a prerequisite for basically any computer science course. So if you like software, you're gonna have to cram Math 220 in there somehow. So as far as for prepping academically to get into ENPH after you've gotten in, first thing I will mention is that if you get into the program, Andre Marziali, the program director, will send you an email as you get in answering this exact question about how to prepare for ENPH. So look at that email when you get it and take that to heart, but I will also answer the question myself. There's 2 really main courses that I think may be worthy of some preparation. The first one is CPEN 221 because this course hits the ground running, assuming you already have a strong knowledge of programming, especially in Java. So for those people who have their only exposure to coding has been AppSci 160 and C, I'd recommend maybe potentially considering learning some Java. The CPEN 221 does publish some Java resources for you to look at, especially if you really want to excel, hash maps, recursion, abstract data types. Those are some concepts that I would really knuckle into. The other course is Math 217. Like I said before, it's a combination course of Math 253 and Math 317. So what a lot of students like to do is they like to take Math 253 in the summer, and that way they only have to take Math 317 in the winter term. If you don't want to do that, that's totally fine, but make sure you're solid on math, first year math. Math 100, Math 101, Math 152. If there's any concepts that you feel you didn't pick up the first time, definitely go back and brush up on those concepts because Math 217, it's 2 courses in the time frame of 1 course. You're gonna hit the ground running. There's not gonna be much time for you to review like what a derivative is. With all of that said though, preparation is definitely, I wouldn't even recommend it honestly myself. Like if you wanna be a keener, if you wanna really put in the effort, I would say do so. But I would say also look at the bigger picture here because engineering physics is an intense program. And this will be your last summer free of like co-op jobs or like internships or like academic summer terms for the rest of your life. Like this is your last free summer for maybe the rest of your life. But after, it's gonna be co-op, it's gonna be internships, and then onto the real world and getting a job and all that stuff. So I would say honestly, value your friends and family first. Spend time with the people you care about, spend time with the people you love. Because after this, you're just gonna be busy maybe for the rest of your life, honestly. Do what makes you happy. If that's sitting in your room and studying, great. But if that's like going outside, seeing the world, going out with your friends and family, no shame in doing that. I definitely recommend, taking a chill summer.
It's automatic, so all the paperwork they make you do is just a formality, and it's just to see if you can write or not, basically. Not at all. My job opportunity came from connections among my family members. Our co-op advisor, Chris McKinnon, has not been very helpful, I must say. During November, he kind of just left the office during a really critical point in our job searching. The pace was picking up, we needed a job quick, and he just left office and left us hanging until January. But by then, most of us already found a different job through other means. The workshops were quite boring, I must say. Not a lot of information that we already didn't know. It's a lot of just repeating what you can find online in a quick 5-minute Google search. About the job board, a lot of the jobs on there looked nice, except for when you actually look at it, it's more for like upper years and more experienced instead of second years like us. Additionally, quite a lot of the jobs didn't even go through the portal. Instead, you had to apply on their own website. And a lot of them just flat out ignored your application. Like you don't even know if they rejected you, if you got your application. I would say try to ask around like your friends and family, try to look for connections, because a lot of the people I know who got co-op opportunities did so through connections with other people, not through the portal. So do try to get out there, like start the job search early instead of just waiting last minute and relying solely on the Science Scope portal.
Okay, as far as design teams go, I am on the electrical team of Subbots. I'm not gonna lie, because of personal issues, I have been very AFK from that design team. I'd like to take the quick opportunity to apologize to all of my team members for being kind of useless. Anyway, don't worry about that. Another extracurricular that I did that I do highly recommend is the Physics and Astronomy Student Machine Shop course. It's a really good course. Basically, it's the course that you take that gives you access to the Student Machine Shop. It gives you 24/7 access. That includes stuff like the angle grinder, lathe, milling machine, drill press, water jet cutter, basically anything to do with like metalworking. And it also gives you their access to material supplies. The thing about this course is that it is kind of hard to fit in. So if you're in first year, I do recommend trying to find time to fit in first year, because that's probably when you're gonna have the most free time to get it done. Or if you don't get a co-op job, you can do it during a co-op term. But it's a 40-hour course. You can either do like a flex schedule, which allows you to like break it up into like a whole, I think into like 12 different segments. You can like take different segments of the course as you wish, like schedule it. Or alternatively, there's also like the 1 week course, where it's literally just like 40 hours, 1 week, where you just get it all done in one go. It's really valuable because I found it's really helpful for robot summer. One thing I will say is that engineering physics students do get a pretty good discount because we are part of the physics department. We get a good discount on the course fee, and we also don't have to pay the annual machine shop usage fee. So every other student, if they use the machine shop, they have to pay a fee every year to use it. We do not. So there's also the physics PCB course, which gives you a certification to make and design PCBs. This course really doesn't give you access to any specific facilities, but it's just really useful to learn skills. It basically teaches you how to make a PCB from start to finish, from a paper schematic to like the final product. Basically, how this course works is divided into 2 sections. The first section is further divided into 2 other small subsections. So the first subsection of the first section, more or less the first couple days of the course, it's just like a lecture kind of thing, kind of like your traditional lecture, covering PCB design and how to use the software. We use KiCad in this course, although you can use Altium if you want. That's primarily KiCad. Basically, it's covering how to use the software, what are some strategies for designing circuits, like how do you reduce noise, how do you make sure you have all your power supply, and how you can really make sure your PCB is as up to industry standard, I suppose. So the rest of the first 2 weeks of the course, the first section of the course, the rest of it is just actually using KiCad to design your PCBs. So you're given a paper schematic, and first of all, what you do in KiCad is you import the schematic onto the software. You gotta put all your parts and wire everything up, and then you design the actual PCB, and then you talk about layers of different ground layers, where your vias, that stuff. The first section of this course lasts around 8 sessions. 8 4-hour sessions, but generally you're only required 7 sessions to finish. That last one session is kind of like a buffer, like if you need more time, you can have more time. And then the course takes a break for a couple weeks. So after the first session, there's a couple of weeks of break as your PCB files are sent to China. That takes a couple weeks. And then the second part of the course is after the PCBs arrive. It takes around 1 week, so 5 sessions. And it's basically all about soldering components to your PCB. So you have your PCB now, but it doesn't have any components on it. So after they teach you how to solder your resistors, your capacitors, all the stuff you need, there's different types of soldering like through hole and surface mount soldering. And after that, you gotta finish PCB. As part of this course, you may also be taught, if there's time, how to test your PCB using oscilloscopes and DMMs. Unfortunately, in my year, because of the transit strike, we did miss a couple sessions, so we never got around to actually testing our PCBs. I did learn about the transit strike from this thing called the Bus Discord. So if you want to join the Bus Discord, the Vancouver TransLink Discord, it's a shout out to them. Oh yeah, one more thing about the PCB course. Like with the machine shop course, engineering physics students also get a discount because this course is under the physics and astronomy department, so we do get a course discount. Avery is an ECE and they don't have an equivalent course, and he's seething and coping behind the camera right now because he has to pay extra if he wants to take this course. So El Bozo to Avery.
Yes, I am on concrete toboggan. I am part of the superstructure subteam, and I basically just work on the big metal structure designed to keep our racers safe.
In terms of experience and value these courses have brought me, the physics courses I've taken, like the student machine shop course and the PCB course, have been really useful, especially for robot summer. Like I could machine different parts for our robot. The PCB course has also helped me make PCBs for a robot, so I made one for motor control. That doesn't work. But I also made one for optical sensing, which does work, and it's worked really nice. And I put a logo of the PHYS logo on there. I also put a QR code on there to link to a certain YouTube video, and I also put Skibidi Toilet on there. So that's great. But anyway, yeah, those 2 courses, they've been really useful for robot summer.
Concrete toboggan is technically a civil design team. However, we have people from all other disciplines, so it's a good way to work with a multidisciplinary team. There's also workshops designed to help you with a bunch of engineering skills. Most importantly, I think the one I went to was for CAD software. So I learned a lot about how to design with CAD, mostly SolidWorks. So that was quite helpful, and where most of my CAD knowledge still came from.
So as far as survival tips and advice, first thing I would say is get comfortable with failure. Like, I know that's like a hard pill for some people to swallow, especially if you're really competitive, but this program is hard, the workload is hard, sometimes you'll fail. And sometimes that's not like a straight like failing like an assignment or failing a course even. It might just be like you missed a deadline, or maybe you couldn't study as much as you wanted to, or maybe it's just that you didn't have time to hang out with your friends and to pursue the hobby you wanted. Just get used to like, sometimes not everything goes your way, and that's okay. Like, you'll get through it, you'll be okay. Sometimes you gotta step back and realize that it's like one assignment or it's just one time, and you'll be okay. It can be easy to get discouraged when you see like everybody else in your cohort succeed or seems like they're succeeding. So imposter syndrome is really common in this program, and that will be addressed during orientation, but just know that like you're worthy and you're here for a reason. And especially when like this program takes some of the most competitive students out of first year, like honestly there will be bound to be students that are sometimes better at it than you at some things, and that's okay. However, in terms of like your peers, I think the same reason that sometimes you get imposter syndrome from them is also one of the big benefits. Like, you're in a small community of 60 people in your cohort in your year that share the same struggles and sacrifices as you do, have the same problems you do, and understand like what you're going through. And if you all support each other, form a community and form friendships based on the shared struggles that you guys have, and you'll go far. Like, if everyone supports each other in this program, everybody's really nice, everybody's really chill, and if you really form those friendships, that can really help you get through this program, especially since we're such a tight cohort and we take all our classes together, so it's really useful to have someone to have your back. I would say that one of the biggest things about this course and the benefit of such a small cohort and a large budget is that you really have like unparalleled student support. Like, we have some of the best support systems in the engineering faculty. Whether it's Eileen for course coordination, or Andre for like general guidance and advice and like dropping courses, or it's like the full-time technical staff on call, always just here to help you with your technical projects. You're never really alone in this program, and sometimes it can feel lonely, but there are always people to help you, and I promise that. So just hold on to that as well. Final survival tip / advice I would have is just remember you're in this program for a reason. Like, you may not feel that you're like some super special or you're super great, and like, maybe that's okay. But remember that there is a reason you're here, and there is a reason that you are worthy of this program. Like, maybe you have a 95 average in first year. Maybe you're like super smart, but maybe that's not true. Maybe you're, you know, a really good communicator with other people. Maybe you're good at teamwork. You're good at understanding human emotions. Maybe you're really good at project work. There's a whole bunch of different reasons you could have ended up here, but all of them are valid reasons, and all of them make you worthy of this program. So, you know, hold on to your strengths, hold on to what makes you you, and, you know, just keep going. You know, never give up. I know it's kind of a cliche, but just never give up, keep going. You're here, you're worthy, and just hold on to what makes you special and hold on to what makes you worthy for this program. My advice is do not take Math 220 if you're not planning on going into computer science or a math minor. It's a demon course. It will mess with your perception of life. I did pretty well without 220. It was just 220. It was happening all my time. You know, every Friday it was just the perpetual panic attack until like 11:58 when I had to hand it in. Either Math 305, Applied Complex Analysis, which is a third-year course, or ENPH 253, the robotics course. Math 255, the mastery-based learning was great. Math 220, Mech 260, CPEN 221B. Probably CPEN 221. It was so badly organized. The lectures weren't very helpful, I must say. The quizzes, I must say, weren't very good either. And there was a lot of problems with all of the tests that we had to do. Well, this is for those people who do their textbook readings, but you'll know if you do. There are numbers, large numbers, very large numbers, and very, very large numbers. There's also Durham cohomology groups and Thomas Madison's calculators. I don't have much, but I must say Hasselhoff slides go hard to round 2. Zinovi Reichstein, maybe the professor for Math 305, Jim Bryan, Shariar, ENPH 253 team, all of them. Honestly, ENPH has a lot of great professors. Might just be Shariar, because he was probably the chillest professor I've ever had, nicest as well, really helpful on Piazza, like would answer your questions and provide like actual information instead of read the lecture slides. I hesitate to say Matt Wong because outside of that one incident, he was great. Definitely Pablo Shmerkin for Math 220 for not doing his job like at all. I'd say Graham Hendra, not because his teaching wore the course, just because, you know, I had to go to his lectures during my lunch break and I was hungry. So one thing that I wish I did in second year was I took more time to reflect and really like be more in tune with myself, to be more aware of like how like emotions and like pain and like stress can really affect your ability to cope with pressure. Because sometimes like you get so focused in on like solving an issue or trying to push through hard times that you ignore certain warning signs. So don't ignore what your body and mind is telling you. If your body and mind are telling you to stop and there's too much pressure, like make sure to like really like listen to yourself and like when you need to take a break. Especially in this program was super stressful, and also the fact that there's a lot of accommodations in this program. Like if you need a break and you just can't handle it anymore, take a break. Like don't push yourself too hard. Like that's definitely what I did, especially with some semesters. And pay attention to yourself and be aware of yourself. And that's something that they really like emphasize in this program. Also, don't be a work robot. Kind of what I did. Like it's really easy to get lost in the work because there's so much of it, and just like kind of like stop kind of feeling human at some point. At the end of the day, keep going, but also keep in mind what keeps you going as well. Like, you know, your friends, your family, the people you love, you know, the people around you. Find a reason to keep going other than just, I need to get this grade or I want to be successful in this program. Find a reason to, you know, keep going, have some hobbies, you know, do some stuff outside of ENPH. One thing I wish I knew was do not take Math 220 during the first semester. Not a good start to ENPH. So I think the most memorable moment of second year for me was like I think it was like the second week of robot summer. My leg cramped up extremely painfully and I basically got crippled for a week and I couldn't really walk. The reason that was most memorable for me was because of the support I had from my friends and like the support I had from other people in the program. It really made me feel like loved in this program, which is really like cliche and kind of cringe, but like it was just really sweet. Like there's people offering me like walking sticks so I could like kind of like humble along. There's people who like make me food when I couldn't like get up and go to the kitchen. There was people who offered, you know, tips on like how to like alleviate the pain. And I had a lot of really great friends in this program. So shout out to Sasha, Laura, Anton, Tracy, Harriet, Harry, Ion, Raymond. There's a lot of people who've helped me get to where I am today, and I'm really thankful for them. So shout out to the people who helped me when I got my leg crippled and for helping me get through robot summer.
Probably Shariar and Joe just forgetting how to use an iPad. It was a great part, just seeing two seasoned professors, seasoned researchers struggling to use a basic piece of technology that children can use.
Oh no, ENPH all the way. This program, it's hard, it's tough, it beats you down, but it's so rewarding. I love it so much. I've learned so much, it's great.
I would not. I'm having ENPH all the way, having too much fun here.
ENPH all the way?
Well, maybe mining.
Harry, give a compliment to Sam.
Sam is a very hot man.
Comment?
Sam is...
So that's everything you need to know about second year engineering physics. Quick note, I will say, I did take some third year courses that weren't in this video, and more information about them will be in the description, and there's more information in the description in general. Second of all, if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. I watch all of Avery Cheng's videos, and I always stalk his comment section. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I will answer them. If you want to ask a question privately, you can message me on Instagram. I think my username is pretzelpoptart. I've mentored a lot of people into engineering. I also volunteered for the UBC engineering physics interview process. So I kind of have quite a bit of experience, answering questions about engineering physics and engineering in general. So if there's anything you want to know, just shoot me an email. I'm more than happy to help.
And that's pretty much everything you need to know before heading into second year engineering physics at UBC. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Sam and Harry for helping me with this video and for sharing their experiences in second year. As always, gently tap the like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell to be notified whenever I release a new video. With that being said, I hope this video brought you value, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.